Okay, so good evening, Star Wars fans. We got a treat for you. This is game two of Matt Lutz versus Paul Myers. Matt won game one by 18. And here we go. So let's see. Again, Matt is playing 12 card hunt down. Paul is playing a three card, his normal three card starting effect with his Yavin for operatives deck. He's starting the security or squadron assignment sparkling, and we didn't hit him. We didn't hit him. Get him some additional activation. Okay, so again, here we go. Game two, everybody. Let's see what happens. Again, Matt ended up winning game one by 18. Okay, Matt's gonna pull the downtown plaza, the Sonic Bombardment B. And it looks like we might actually be joined by one Bill Camper, so let me get this started up really quick. Okay, there's an I am your father from Matt, so he's going to have his Vader stuff out pretty early. But he's going to probably want to get down that downtown plaza here really quick. Okay, there's Vanny. Let me see what's going on with the microphone. Okay, there's Vanny going to go get the castle for Matt. Yeah, my system's a little choppy. Honestly, Bill, if you want to take over, that would be great. My system's really choppy tonight. I'm having some issues with my computer. Okay, there's a golden rod from Paul. Just in case Paul, or just in case Matt has a Blizzard 4, he'd have to pay 2. Here comes a. And don't do that again as well. Paul pulls Furgence in the Force. And we're going to have the. Okay, Paul's going to lose from Barrier from his hand. And Matt's going to lose Vader Lightsaber from his hand. So. Okay, there's a Camino Clone Birth Center from Paul, so he got +2 from there. He's going to go to their battleground location. So definitely going to be interested to see like what both players were thinking with their decks. Matt going with Hunt Down non-B, Paul playing Yavin for Ops deck. Okay, Kivik's coming down. With the Kiviks, I mean, stuff like that tells me that Paul was expecting Hunt Down B. Matt's going to play hard. Okay, there's security plans from Matt. You know what? I'm actually going to switch to the other one, the normal GEMP, really quick. My reasoning is my system's it's really slow. GEMP did get an upgrade. It's a new interface, but I'm actually going to go switch to our normal one, just for this match. I need to play around with my system and figure out what's going on with it. Okay, here's a... Okay, Matt's going to use his Vader Castle, so he's going to grab a Vader here. Probably going to move Vader over to the downtown plaza. Looks like he lost a Vader at the end of his turn, or at the end of Paul's turn to a Visage. He lost that Vader from the top of his deck. Paul lost Lieutenant Tarn Missin from his hand, so Lieutenant Tarn Missin's seen a lot of action lately. Bill Kafer should be happy about that. Paul's got to be looking for something like he's got to be looking for an out of commission combo here, because Matt just got his no escape on the table, and that's going to get him a Vader. And the other thing is, if he has honor to stop the Visage, that won't help him. Okay, so Matt did use his Vader's Castle's game text to search for a Vader. There was no Vader in his deck, so he had to go get no escape to get the Vader that he lost back onto the table. So kind of it's not what Matt wanted to do there. But it is a Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith. And he's still pretty good Vader. Go back on Slack. Okay, and there's Min as well as Akir Canis, so reinforced with that Vader. Matt getting Come Here You Big Coward out as well. And it looks like Matt lost to Count Dooku to get the saber back. Okay, he has a walk link from... So we go into Paul Myers' turn. He loses a projection of the Skywalkers from his hand. He's going to use 3/4. Going to go get a card with walk link. Probably going to go get Haven, so that way he can start putting out guys. He needs to start occupying. This way he can start getting some retrieval in. Hopefully for Paul, he's playing Luke Skywalker V. If he is, he can start getting retrieval from there. Okay, so there's the Haven. Again, then Paul activates a little bit more, so still got a lot to do. He's still got a 13 card hand, so it's still pretty early in the match. Now, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of Yavin 4 operatives in the meta right now just because of Hunt Down V and how popular it is. It is a harder deck to play because you lose all those bonuses because of Hunt Down V. But interesting to see Paul with this particular deck. I will say this, I did not figure that Matt was going to be playing Hunt Down. I would have put him on maybe a Hunt Down V, something a little bit more popular. But here we go. Here's the Haven from Paul. So he's going to probably he's going to be able to start getting some guys out now. He's only got 2 systems on the table though. And there's a Luke Skywalker. So yeah, I mean, Y4 Ops has transitioned from playing relying on the bonuses to playing with systems that give up 2 icons. So it just had to evolve a little bit. I will say this though, I think Y4 Ops is a deck that could use a helper, and I would love to see one. I like the theme of the deck. Okay, Lieutenant Tarn Missing comes down onto Rogue Squadron 4. I think if you're Paul, you want to get out one more ship and a character. Because, like I said, he is... Now, Matt knows that Paul has a Virgins in the Force in his hand, so he's probably not going to start... he probably won't drain for 3 next turn. It's only going to be a drain of 2. Because he doesn't want that Virgins of the Force stacking onto the downtown plaza. So let me go in, and you're not going to see me for 1 second. And I hope. Okay, yeah, now we can, we'll be able to hear you, Mr. Bill Kafer. So joining us today is one of Matt's teammates, Bill Kafer. Let me get the cameras up and rolling. Is your camera live or no? Are you there, Bill? I think we lost Bill. Okay, so Bill, looks like Bill's back now.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong close on the window.
It happens. Okay, so looks like Paul only got Lieutenant Tarn missing on the Red Squadron 4, as well as Luke. He moves those to Camino and Kifix. I kind of would have liked for him to save somebody at the Haven, at the Yavin 4, just so he protects the Haven a little bit.
Yeah, so one of the things I was saying on my stream when I picked it up when you were down a little bit or struggling a little bit here is that Matt's version is very similar to Steve Baroni's version from Worlds, where
Okay.
uh, he's running 4 ships. So we're gonna see 2 Emperor shuttles and 2 Maul Sith infiltrators.
Ooh,
So it's
interesting.
probably more space than Paul is expecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Paul, again, moving to Camino there signifies that he's not expecting any space at all.
Yeah, just leaving Tarn Myson by himself over there is certainly interesting. So if Matt has already found a ship, he's going to have 14 force to work with next turn, and we'll see if he
Mm-hmm.
can do a little damage there. I would be worried about something like, well, all right, not as worried because I thought he saved 2, but something like Rapid Fire to go grab a cannon,
Mm-hmm.
which could at least kick him out of space, but you can still do some damage.
Yeah. So Paul didn't. He drew up, not saving any cards in his force pile. Again, I'm not a big fan of that particularly. Bill, is your camera working?
Uh, yes. Hold.
Okay. So we are on to. So we did see Paul just play out of commission combos, so that way he canceled the Visage. But here we go. Here's Matt going to drain. He doesn't have to pay because there's no battle plan or battle order, and he is going to only drain for 2. There we go. Now we see you, Bill.
Yeah, so that's another thing I mentioned on my stream is that it's very likely that Paul is playing Virgins in the Force.
Mm-hmm.
So by training for 2 here, he's avoiding that coming down and ruining his day.
Yeah, and we actually did see Paul pull it earlier. So
Okay, I missed that, so that's good. Yeah, one of the things I was talking about is how I think this is it's a bad matchup for Huntdown, but not a lose by 19 bad matchup for Huntdown.
mm-hmm.
The last time I played this was in the OCS last year against Wayne Cullen, and he crushed me, but like I was behind that entire game as the Huntdown player, and I only lost by 10, 12, 15, something like that. So it's very difficult to win this matchup by more than 18 as Paul.
And there is a second visit of the Emperor coming down from Matt. So, I mean, I will say this, though. Paul will start be able to retrieving force next turn. And there's the Emperor Shuttle you were just talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, I assume an Emperor's coming because Emperor's good.
Mm-hmm. There's the Emperor coming down for
like Tarkin probably too.
Yep, there's the Tarkin. Now, I mean, so Matt had an 8-card hand, and we see him have the Visage, the Emperor, and Grand Moff Tarkin with the shuttle there. So he had a really good hand. And again, Paul didn't have any force. We saw him lose the barrier early to Visage. He drew up, so.
Yeah, and I would expect, I mean, you're going to cause some overflow here, right? You're going to draw 4 plus probably, you're going to draw, what, 2 Destiny? 3 Destiny?
It's going to be 3 Destiny, yeah.
3 Destiny, so if you figure an average of 4, so that's going to be 16 power to 5. Tarn forfeits for 4. The ship forfeits for 5.
13.
So it's going to be 9 overflow, right? So like 2 to 3 overflow plus Matt's going to be able to go over to Yavin and cancel Haven.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to.
I don't know. I like the play of canceling the Haven. The other thing is, this is also going to allow Coward to come back into effect, so Paul won't retrieve any.
Yeah,
that's
good. I mean, he's still going to be able to drain for potentially 3 plus a lost card, but I would imagine Matt's going to pull Battle Order.
Yeah.
So that's going to take up a good portion of his force. He does have 10 cards in hand, so we'll see what he can come back with. Maybe there's a X-Wing cannon or some other kind of weapon.
Okay. There's a rapid fire.
You can see.
Now, yeah, Paul's having, it looks like he's having some sort of internet issues. There's the X-Wing cannon, so Paul does have that.
Yeah, and at maneuver 3, it's pretty easy to hit. You just have to draw a 4.
There's an organized attack, so brings him up to power 6. But yeah, him not saving any force, though, also won't make it go lost instantly.
Right. And that would be the big thing I was looking for as Matt, is if he had saved 2 to 3 force, you don't do this. But, I mean, you're going to lose the ship here because it's going to get hit, but you're still probably going to be able to cause some overflow.
True. Okay.
Power 6, he can forfeit 9 total. So.
And Lieutenant Tarn Meeson makes it so that all those characters lose their forfeit, but that's not coming. Yeah, I was going to say a power pivot would have came into play, but it doesn't look like he has it. So we go to Destiny. There's a 4. There's a 5.
Dan's favorite card.
And another 5. So, yeah, you were saying that on average you're seeing a 4 for Destiny. Well, Matt just beat the average, and he's down by 12.
Yeah.
So it's going to be. There is going to be overflows.
Cards, I think.
4. Unless Paul has the Hojix. Okay, there goes Lieutenant Tarn missing. That's going to flip Paul back. Coward's going to be in a flat effect, so he can't retrieve any. So, oh, you're right. 3 cards.
Big thing for me, if I am Matt here, is that I've seen Tarn Mycin go off the top, and now I've made another Tarn Mycin loss.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about Tarn Mycin for the rest of the game, which is good.
Yeah. Okay, and Paul doesn't have the Hojix, so he loses 3. He loses Rescue in the Clouds, Organized Attack, and Rapid Fire. So. Yeah, and being that Matt knows he has 18 cards to work with in this matchup is a huge advantage for him.
Right, you only really need to make Paul lose 15 more cards, and Visage is going to do a lot of that heavy lifting because it's going to be two per turn cycle. So
yeah, and being that Matt already grabbed 1, Paul would have to have a second. There's about order from Matt.
And just a little spoiler alert that Matt does have a 3rd Visage.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Drain of 2 at Kifix.
Another Matt Lutz special here where he said, I'm going to play this. What do you guys think? And we said, yeah, all right, that seems good.
So here's the question now. Is Matt the de facto best player of your team now? Because he just doesn't care?
You know, it's tough to discount guys like B. Fred and Greg Shaw, who just can take whatever, us plebs in Matt and Drew and myself and Sam, and then just take that and go undefeated in games. So it's tough to discount that, but Matt absolutely is our most active player for sure. So he's the one talking about what are we going to do with erratas, and what are we going to do with this deck, and how does this work? Like, I think today I had to respond to like 4 or 5 different threads where it was like, what do we do with Profit, and what do we do with Map, and what do we do with this deck, and all kinds of things. So
see, it just makes me jealous. I don't have that.
let me tell you, he's not going to be a 15 seed in the NPC this year.
Was he a 15 seed last year?
He was.
That's insane. I mean,
Yeah,
we saw Matt at, what was it, Texas Mini Worlds. He was in Bastion's bracket or pod, beat Bastion.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to say he came out of the first round of the top 16 from Texas. He played well at Worlds. Now he's doing really well in the GEMPC. If he wins here, this would be a top 8 finish for him.
Yeah, it's another top 8. Not going to be a 15 seed this year.
No. Okay, so there's the control. So we see a controlled tunnel vision from Paul. Takes a card out of his force pile. Again, he can't retrieve. He did train for 2, and he missed the Restore Freedom to the Galaxy Destiny. He actually drew a Grimtosh for Destiny. Okay, Grey Squadron 1 comes down over to Yavin, and that will flip him back. So you're saying that Matt is playing 4 ships, 2 Emperor shuttles. How many Emperors is he playing?
I would say 3 without looking at it.
So here's my question though, like, what did he remove from the deck?
Well, so Baroni's deck was running a lot of the same things. He was running 3 Emperors. He was running 4 ships. So, like, this isn't some kind of innovation that we made. This is definitely, we gotta give credit to KTOD here. I'm gonna pull up Baroni's list and just see what it looks like.
Okay, so we are in Paul's draw phase. He is drawing. Now, he can start retrieving with his objective, though. So I'm probably going to see him retrieve something here soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Steve's list right now from Worlds, and the list that Matt posted earlier today is very similar to this. There's a couple switches, but nothing major. Steve was running 4 ships. He was running 3 Emperors. He's running pretty much the same activation package that I saw Matt post earlier. And this is very similar to Steve's list. So.
Okay, so here we go. Paul is drawing up to 14 cards in his hand. He does have 1 in his force pile. So will he have learned his lesson at this point? Or do you think that he doesn't care? So he's got 14 cards in his hand, but he's down to 15 cards in life force.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it tough to win by 17, right? Or 18, 19, whatever he needs to win by.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think he's going to win on lost piles just because Matt only had 9 cards in the lost pile after game 1.
I mean, one of the good things about Yavin operations is that with that retrieval, you also put a card out of play, so your lost pile is going to be a little bit smaller, but I think that is secondary to the fact that you need to get to 18 cards in life force.
True. Paul's taking his time determining what he wants to do here.
I think there's only 1 masterful move combo in there. I think for Diplo, it was just more focused on taking over ground.
And Diplo is the kind of deck that does put a lot of cards on the table, so I didn't see Paul play in that deck in particular.
Well, so I will tell you that when I was talking to Matt, I definitely thought that Paul would be on either Diplo or Hitco. Just because that's all I've really seen him play. I don't even think I've seen him play this Yavin 4 operations at all, so this could be a Gavin deck or something like that.
It's funny enough, I've actually played against this Y4 Ops deck against Paul twice. So I knew this was a deck. He wasn't too fond of it. He said he hasn't had enough reps with it. But I think because he has been down so much, he wanted to play it because it does have the retrieval. But at the same time, yeah, this is a deck I was thinking about playing against Kyle Kruger. He didn't want to share it with me, so at that point I was just like, okay, I'll play whatever.
I will say this is a bold choice because I think that Matt has shown that he can play Hunt Down Virtual. I mean, he played it at Worlds. I think he
Mm-mm.
played, I don't know if it was Hunt Down Virtual or just Hunt Down in some of the earlier rounds as well. So to go for a Yavin 4 deck, which has a terrible matchup against Hunt Down Virtual, seems bad. But also, Jared Napolitano, who is in chat and can go ahead and correct me, said that he thinks that this is the most lopsided matchup in Open today uh, in favor of Yavin 4 Alps. So I don't know.
Now, I think the most lopsided matchup right now is Indoor Base Operations versus Hunt Down V. Especially
You
if
mean
they're Echo Base
you mean Echo
Operations.
based operation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something I found on Crunchbase. Base Operations is a company. Their description says, Base Operations uses AI to aggregate.
Are you asking Siri things when Adam's not even in chat?
No, I have an Alexa on my desk here. And
Adam's going to be very sad.
I'm not an iPhone person. I can't stand iPhone. I will say this though, I gotta fix my computer. The new interface in streaming it just runs slow, so I gotta talk to the team and figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's my computer or what, or the settings I have. But okay, so Matt just drained. He just drew up, and he says, "Go ahead after you take your visage damage." Paul did lose an organized attack from his hand. Okay, there's a rescue in the clouds from Paul.
I mean, Matt's in a pretty good position here where he's doing 2 damage. Eventually, he can start doing 3 damage. I'm glad Adam showed up and
Yeah.
is very angry with your.
Whoa. I don't think he's angry at me. I don't like Apple or iPhone. I didn't say anything bad about Siri. All I said was I have an Alexa. You're trying to put words in my mouth, Bill.
That's what I do.
Well, I mean, you don't play Star Wars.
No, I don't. Why would I play Star Wars cards?
Okay, there's an All Wings combo from Paul. He's going to grab the Blue Squadron 1.
Also, Dan, I've played twice as many Star Wars cards games this year as you have, probably.
Well,
Mostly because I already have 10 games in the OCS, and you only have 3 still?
5.
5? Okay, that's still twice as many.
That's a good point. And, I mean, I think you and I both play the same amount of games for the GEMPC.
Sounds right. We both made it to a round of 32, 16? I don't know.
16.
Okay.
I will say this, though. I'm also in the Alderaan SoCal League, and I played a bunch of games with them, so... But you're also in other leagues, so... Okay, there's a drain of... So Paul does hit his epic event. So it's going to be a drain of 3 at Kifix. Matt's going to lose the Blockade Flagship Bridge, Emperor Enforcer Vader, and Dr. E combo from his hand. So he's losing all this stuff from hand. Honestly, like if you're Matt, Paul's at 15 life force. Do you just start losing from the deck to make the game go faster?
I don't think you're there yet, but it's certainly something to keep in mind. One of the things we tried to remind Matt is that just win is better than like thinking about, hey, I need to lose by 17.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can win the game, go ahead and win the game.
True. Okay, there goes a Kylo Ren, a Force Lightning, and a Sonic Bombardment. Okay, Paul's going to start his retrieval now. So that's good.
I mean, that's basically Paul's turns now, right? Is like
drain, retrieve, go.
To drain.
Yeah.
And if you do, I'm going to try to do some quick math, and it's going to be bad because I've been drinking most of the day. But if he's doing 6 damage a turn and retrieving 1.
Well, he should be retrieving 2 because of the objective.
Because of Luke. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drain 6, retrieve 1 versus... I mean, that does favor Paul, but it's never going to get him back over that number that he needs to get over.
Yeah.
Because Matt's going to be able to do 2 a turn in drains plus 2 a turn in Visage.
Well, okay, so think about it this way. So Paul's retrieving 2. He's losing 2 to Visage. He's draining for 5 right now. And Matt's draining for 2. So it's a 3 card.
Okay.
It's a 3 card difference.
It's 6 because Kin Kian, which you don't know because
that's right.
Look like you. Kin Kian transfer +1 there.
That's right. You're right. I'm sorry. So it's a 4 card difference, unless Matt wants to drain for 3 and risk the Virgins of the Force.
Right. And I think it's safe for him not to do it. I think you eat the drains of 3 and 3, which could turn into 4.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you end up stacking a card at Camino. But,
yeah.
Matt also has the luxury of having multiple ships to come down with.
True.
So we'll see how that plays out.
And the other thing you have to take into consideration is Paul's already down by 12 minutes.
Well, I think that'll be fine. I don't think we're worried about time on this game.
I don't know. This is Paul we're talking about.
You're not wrong.
And it looks like we're still in Paul's deploy phase, so he's taking some time off the clock here. Maybe he's doing.
I can't imagine a scenario where Paul is able to come down on the ground, right, to challenge that
No.
2 trainer.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and there's no light side.
I don't expect that Paul is playing a site of any kind.
I don't know. He might be playing the Camino site as a battleground. I doubt it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think that would just not be good to deploy at this point. I think that Matt would be able to overrun that pretty quickly unless you're running like maybe like a Qui-Gon. What's the new guy? Serene Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Or like Obi Yoda, something like that.
There's a Red Squadron 1 from Paul coming down to Yavin 4. He's got Wedge Antilles on there.
Scott, Matt has 26 in Life Force and Paul has 16 in Life Force. Matt won game 1 by 18, so Paul's already under that number. Just a matter of how much he can retrieve.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he is going to retrieve with the 7 side as his objective. Placing the heading for the medical frigate out of play. He's going to retrieve 1, so he'll get Snap Wexley back.
So I will say that
And there's another out of commission. We know that Matt has the Visage. He already took 1 into his hand, so he'll be able to put that out. But that does save Paul 1 force loss right there. Actually, no, he doesn't, because it's grabbed, so it really didn't save him anything.
yeah, not this turn at least.
Well, Matt's going to be
It's
able
a
to...
good play if you don't think that he has another Visage, but if you're saying that he already has another Visage in hand,
Yeah.
he missed that he retrieved or something.
He grabbed it with the We Must Accelerate Our Plans. Okay, there's a drain of 2.
Okay.
There goes a power pivot from hand from Paul. And an all wings combo from his deck, so that brings him down to 16.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer to only drain for 2, but
Yeah.
still fine.
And there's the 3rd Visage.
Can't imagine Paul is playing 3 out of commission combos. I mean, he's not Scott.
I don't know. Paul and Scott seem to get along really well in that one interview they did together. Okay, Paul's going to place Walkley out of play to retrieve a card. He's going to retrieve An all wings combo. Okay, Matt's going to recirculate and just pass turn.
And that's certainly interesting, not drawing and not playing anything, right? So, like, if you
Yeah.
don't have a ship that you can go do something with, you would think that you want to draw for it. If you have the ship, you would think you want to play it.
So
that's certainly an interesting.
yeah, Ming, Matt knows that Paul has Virgins of the Force in his hand. So, but yeah, Paul could easily just drop Ultimatum as well. But I think he wants to try and bait out the extra drain. Okay, there's a drain of. So here we go. It's going to be a drain of 4 for Paul. So, and he's going to have to lose a card to the epic event. So Matt's going to be taking 5 cards there. And the epic event is what, once per turn?
Once per drain.
Oh, okay.
So, like, once a card is stacked there, you're not going to stack another card there.
Well, no, I'm saying like you can only you draw Destiny once. It's once per drain, but I'm saying like, will he be able to draw do another Destiny here at Yavin 4?
That I don't actually know.
Okay, Simple Triple Nonsense comes down from Paul. Interesting.
As I'm reading it, it looks like you can do that at Yavin 4 as well.
Okay. So I saw a drain 4 at Camino, drain of 3 at Kifix.
Feel free to correct me in chat.
Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a little upset here, seeing Matt lose from Force Pile and lose 2 ships.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you could have just drawn those and then known what you're gonna lose. He does try to add at Yavin 4, but does not.
Yeah, he misses it. And he's got it could be worse in his deck. So if he can try and track that around, that would actually save him some force as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough with the Yavin 4 operations. You don't really have like a 3PO that can go get it back every turn. It's a matter of like, once you get below a certain number of force, it's very easy to track, but once you get below a certain number of force, you've already lost the match.
True. Okay, Paul does retrieve. He's back up to 17, and now he's going to draw. So he was at 18, and now he's going to draw some. Interesting.
I mean, losing 2 per cycle and 2 to the drain,
you
have to have some cards to lose.
True. Okay, he's going to place Rebel Berry out of play to retrieve.
I see now why Jared in chat thinks that this is 80-20 in favor of Yavin 4 operations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Paul's up to 16 now.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but like,
I will say that
activate and draw here.
Yeah, and there's no. That's the thing. I mean, do you risk it? Do you say to yourself, "Okay, does Paul have 3 interrupts to play?" Okay, there goes an X-wing cannon. There goes an organized attack.
You do, right?
No.
Some of the interrupts that you're playing is like Rescue in the Clouds, which has you take a card in hand, or like
all wings combo where you take something into hand.
There. All wings will take something into hand.
And there's a Darth Maul with his Sith infiltrator.
Yeah, I was saying earlier in my stream that that's gonna be tough because like I didn't know who you would play as the light side player as another ability for pilot that isn't Luke. Eric did say in chat that you would play probably a Rey in the deck, but
Corran Horn.
Yeah, I mean Corran Horn's fine. I don't like Corran Horn. I'm not that guy. Rey's tough to put on starfighters, but if you're running this with the possibility that you're gonna run multiple Y-wings, you can put her on there. You can move Kin into the passenger slot, even though he's absolutely the best pilot to put on that ship.
Yeah.
Because it's like me.
Okay. Matt's gonna cloak the ship.
That makes sense to me because that's a drain of 4. So if you can pop 2 cards down and lose 2 cards, do not deal with it, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's gonna be able to track. What did he put back? He put a barrier back. Never mind. But yeah, that'll allow free drains for Matt. So a drain of 2, plus space. He's actually going to be able to drain through and can if another ability for pilot doesn't show up there. So it's going to be a drain of 2 there as well. Plus, look good to put back that 1 card.
Yeah.
Stacked.
Well, Paul does save 2 force there.
He's not battling because Maul cloaked. It's just a matter if he can get like.
Well, I mean, if you have a weapon.
It's still going to take 2 turns because you need to get a cannon down and then you need to sorry about that.
Okay, so we have a revert. Okay, drain of 3 at Kifix. There goes a Force Push, another Emperor's Enforcer, and an Emperor, all from Matt's hand. Both players only have 3 cards left in their hand. Matt has 12 cards in Life Force. Paul currently has 17. Okay, that's going to cause 3 cards lost here for Matt.
Yeah, I would expect Paul to move Luke over to Camino so that Matt isn't able to drain up there in space. At that point, Paul's going to be down to... So, what he's got right now is 16, 18. He's going to have to lose 1. Okay, well, alright, it's closer than I thought.
Well, yeah, because now Paul's at 18 right now.
Right, but you're still going to have to lose 1 to Visage,
2
to the drain at the Plaza. And at this point, you could even consider draining for 3 at the Plaza because it's going to be free. You don't have to pay those cards. So Matt could drain for 3 and then draw up.
True. Yeah, because Paul had 35 in his lost pile last game. Even with the 29, Matt would be at 38. Paul would be at 52. So.
Oh yeah, the big thing is like you would drain for 3, and then if he stacks Virgins, that's another card essentially lost from his hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me that Paul is still drawing cards here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, he's going to retrieve.
Joe in chat telling me that the plan I put forth is very rude.
It kind of is, but apparently Joe says it's very clever too. Maybe it's all that beer that you drank today.
Oh yeah, that's what's making me clever, is the beer.
Okay, so Paul retrieved. He's at 17. He's got 5 cards in his hand, though.
Yeah, but so Matt won by 18, right?
Yeah.
So you drain for 3, and you just draw up. And if he has a card,
Okay, there he's gonna take play the all wings combo. He doesn't have any. Now he's gonna, I believe it's gonna put him at 18.
right, but he still has to lose 1 card to Visage this turn,
Yeah,
3 cards to a drain next turn,
yeah,
and then if Matt does nothing,
yeah,
2 more cards in the
yeah.
next
You're right.
cycle.
You're right. I see what you're saying. You drain the 3. You do the visage damage. He's got 4 cards in his hand. That's the 4 cards in his hand right there. He's at 18. You draw up, and then it's game. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let's see if Matt recognizes that.
Where you don't even need to draw up, you just draw down to 1. Then you allow Visage to hit twice. Do the same thing next turn. So this should be 2 or 3 turns away from winning. Jesus, if Paul has On the Edge, I'd be very upset.
If Paul has On the Edge, that's insane.
I have not yet started playing my Premier Death Star 2 meta.
And Paul draws another card.
Because my On the Edge got sensed, so... Joe pointing out in chat that the math supports when you're down to 2 turns or less. The math supports draining for 3 anyway, because you would be able to drain for 3, cause 1 damage through Virgins being played, and then 1 damage the next turn. So that's still 5 instead of 4, which would be draining for 2 and 2.
I think On the Edge does cost 1 force to use.
Yeah, so he's not on the edging this turn.
No. Okay, so Matt does drain. He only drains for 2 here. And there goes
it's slightly dangerous here if you only drain for 2.
Yeah.
Because any 1 interrupt could cause you to lose the game. Or
Matt's going to retrieve his... he's going to retrieve the security tower here. So he can't draw up, but that also gives him another card to work with, though.
So he'll be able to move Paul's ship over to Kifix and lose 2 instead of losing 4 to that drain.
Yeah.
So,
but you're still losing 3 at Yavin 4.
Because you're still going to cause a guaranteed 4 per cycle through draining for 2.
Okay, so he moves Vader over. That's actually going to be another drain of 1.
It is going to be a drain of 1.
So Matt's playing really safe, but it looks like it's really smart.
One of the things we did caution him about was playing too safe, so I hope that...
Okay, there's the move to Kifix. Matt seems like he's the safe kind of player. Like, he doesn't want to go too crazy. Maybe that's why maybe that's why he's having so much success right now.
I mean, that's why he's still in this tournament, and I am not.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Okay, there goes. He does lose 2 to this infiltrator. Or no, he doesn't lose 2.
He did.
No, he didn't lose the 2.
I think that's pretty safe now, right? Because you're not expecting Ray and Falcon to come down.
No, because I was going to say Paul only has 1 card left in his deck, or his hand, sorry. Okay, there's drain 3 at Yavin 4. He's got 2 cards left in his force pile, or reserve deck, though. Okay, there goes a Vanny from Matt. Let's see, he's got 2 cards left to lose. So, I mean, he's going to lose 6 here, but he does have 12 cards right now to work with. So he's going to lose an additional 2. So he's going to lose 5 more. So that will bring him down to 7 cards.
Joe, he can't... Paul can't initiate battle there because he doesn't satisfy Tatooine Maul's restriction.
Okay, there goes a force field. And battle order for strike. Okay, drain 3 at Camino. Now, again, Paul could be playing on the edge here. He's got 1 card left in his hand. He's got 9 cards in his force pile.
Yeah, if that card's on the edge, I think you lose this with grace.
For what, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do anything against that. I mean, what do you do?
Play a Dark Time for the Rebellion.
Yeah, but that card's terrible because Throne Room's out of the meta.
Okay, Paul retrieves his Virgins of the Force. He's checking his Destiny.
There you go. It's not on the edge. It's in.
But and he's just going to move Luke over.
So he'll be able to retrieve on this turn. That'll get him to 19, right? Because 16, 18 plus 1 is 19. He's going to have to lose 1 at the end of the turn. That'll take him to...
and he drew another card.
Okay.
I mean, I get why he wants to draw, but...
He's going to retrieve 1. So that'll put him at...
18.
17, 18, 19, right? 12 plus 6. 18.
18.
Okay.
But the thing is, he's gonna lose 3 here, plus the plus the Visage. So, just by the math, like, if you're Matt, you drain and you just go because he's at 17.
Yeah, so you're gonna do
and Matt should not.
You're gonna do a drain of 2 and a drain of 1 on your turn.
Yeah.
And then you just draw up.
Yeah.
Win the match.
Yeah.
Just do what I just said.
Okay, Matt activates 1. He's saving 2. Interesting.
That's not all of them, Matt. Okay. Well, I mean...
Yeah, he saves 2. Okay, here's a drain of 1 at the Vader's Castle.
Still drain for 3 here.
Yeah, it's still a drain of 3. And that's going to bring him down to 16.
You get to move in front of the...
Oh, okay.
Wedge.
Paul has It Could Be Worse.
Could be worse.
It's going to go out of play, but it does save him to 2 cards.
It still makes him lose a card. That's fine.
Yeah, but it wasn't from his deck. So he's at 17. Paul...
He can't outpace.
He can't
retrieve faster than...
Yeah, well, he can't. So the problem here now is Paul can't. He can't drain at both locations. What I'm saying is, okay, he drains at Kifix and Yavin 4. Both those are drains of 3. That would actually Matt would just scoop.
Okay.
Yeah. Paul needs to put another card back into his deck, and he can't.
Yeah, he needs to extend the game, but he is not able to.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, with Visage, I mean, he's still going to be at 17. So, it's 16 right now. So he retrieves 2. That'll bring him up to 18. Yeah. Paul can't win this.
Because he's going to go to... He's at 16 right now. If he drains twice, Matt is out of the game.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to say, like, Matt just... Paul draining first is kind of stupid here. Because, okay, he loses... Oh, never mind. Why? Now, Paul should retrieve. Because it's a drain of 3. Matt just loses all from his deck, and the game's over. The game's done.
You lost from hand though.
Yeah, why, Matt?
Do you think it's 7?
I asked Matt earlier. Like, I even asked him, I was like, hey, what's the final score? And he goes, 18.
Okay, well, so, alright, we're alright here, right? So, like, Paul's gonna retrieve one with Luke, that goes to 17.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna retrieve one at the end of his turn with
The objective.
that'll go to 8.
But then he loses one to Visage, putting him down to 17 again.
He's gonna eat drains of 3 and lose one to Visage. Even if he has it could be worse again.
Which he does,
drains of 1 and still lose one to Visage, so it's just gonna be the same.
Yeah. Nah, Matt. I'm going to say this. Matt played well, but he also teched ridiculously well. Like, playing Tatooine Maul was huge.
Yeah. Brony's version did not have Tatooine Maul, so that was definitely a Matt add. What else was in there? The Choke Vader is a Matt add as well.
Oh, I'm just saying, Matt should have won this game like 2 turns ago. This should have been over. And it doesn't. And
I mean,
Paul's drawing. Yeah.
Like Matt just drains for 2-1 and then draws that last card, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you're Matt, you don't have to drain.
I am taking credit for Tatooine Maul. I'm sorry, Sam. You take credit for Tatooine Maul.
Oh, yeah, hands down. Like, Tatooine Maul won Matt this so much. Like, the fact that he's not paying to drain. Well, I'm saying Tatooine Maul won him this match in this between this game. But him playing
Tatooine
in...
Maul's fine, but, like, he would have been able to still cloak for losing 2. Cloak by losing 2 every turn. He would have been fine. Tatooine Maul's still a really good card.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even drained Paul here. I would have just drawn up. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think he's gonna draw here on this turn and win 18-14 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Womp womp womp. Well, congrats, Matt, for your well-played victory. Like, oof. Yeah.
Yeah, 18-14.
Yeah. Congrats, Matt, on your victory. Before we end this, let's check our let us check the bracket really, really quick. Okay, still waiting on Joe to play. So Joker King is sitting there waiting for either Joe or Brandon Beatty. We got Adam Trunzo versus Lawrence Kraft. Kyle Kruger. You know what? I'm excited for this. Kyle versus Matt.
Yeah, I thought Joe played yesterday. Joe advanced already.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Joe
Okay.
telling us did in fact advance.
Well, we got Joe versus Joker King.
Oh.
Trunzo versus Lawrence Kraft.
I believe he goes by Richcraft.
Richcraft?
Which is great because I keep wanting to say witchcraft. Richcraft.
We got Kyle Kruger versus Matt Lutz. I'm excited to see that one. Kyle playing really well. And then we also have Scotland Grove versus Timo Dussel. So who do you got? Who do you think is going to make it to the finals, Bill?
You know, for the whole time before we were playing and while we were playing, I thought it was going to be Stubley in the final. And
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be against. Who did I think it was going to be? I thought it was going to be Cryptophis, actually, who got upset very early in this.
Yeah, I think he lost round 1.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of faith in Z, in Zemawit. I hope I said that right.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 8 left, it's really tough to count Joe out. I mean, he's the defending world champion.
Yeah. I'm going to say...
He's not, like, trying right now, right?
I don't know.
He's still winning.
I mean, I know he lost a game so far, but I mean, for me, like, the guy who I'm looking at right now, Joker King's playing really well. He knows his court deck really well, so... Joe, if you're watching, and I know you are, watch out for court. But the guy, like, I mean, yeah, we have Joe and Joker King, we have Adam and Rich, but looking down here, Timo's playing. He's been playing so much lately. Like, it's insane.
I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna end up seeing Joe versus Timo in the final.
Yeah. Although I will say this though. Yeah. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to these 2 matches here. So, at least from my perspective. So, but thanks, Bill, for joining us. It's always a pleasure for having you on. Check tomorrow. We have Joe or Chris Goglin's show. He's going to be spoiling the set 14 cards. Wednesday, more Hall of Theater. So definitely got some exciting stuff in Star Wars coming out. So until then, we'll see everybody later.